Hello and welcome to Lambda U. My name is Carol Cuello and I am a LICOR Solutions and Support Scientist. As a support scientist, one of my main roles is to help our customers optimize their assays. In doing so, and also in my previous experience being in the lab myself, I've learned that a lot of times we have trouble designing an experiment. We get stuck on the first steps. For example, when it comes to Western blots, one of the big challenges is selecting our primary and secondary antibodies. How many times have you ended up being stuck on simply determining which antibodies you're going to use on your Western blot? And then you spend weeks, if not months, trying to validate and optimize that just to figure out that antibody is not good. You just wasted your whole week. Well, maybe the antibody wasn't bad. Maybe the problem is that that antibody was simply not designed and validated for your particular assay with your conditions. If you remember about our previous conversation on antibodies ins and outs, that's actually a lot of things to take into consideration when it comes to antibodies. You need to figure out, do you want a monoclonal or a polyclonal antibody? What isotype should I use? Made in what host? Is there a subclass associated with it? Which labeling should I use on that antibody? It's a lot of things to remember. And if you haven't watched that video, or if you're not familiar with that content, perhaps it's a good point for you to go and watch that video before we can talk more about antibody selection. All right, so with all of that in mind, we have established two goals for this course. The first one is to discuss why is it that antibody selection is so important for you and your Western blot. The second goal is to walk you through a streamlined process where step by step we discuss how to properly select for your primary and for your secondary antibody. At the end of the day, we're actually going to have created a workflow that you can print and follow every single time that you need to select your antibodies for your Western blot protocols. So why should you invest time in actually selecting antibodies for your Western blot protocol? Because investing this time now is actually going to save you time down the line, and it's going to ensure that you have high quality, significant, reproducible data to work with. So right now is a great point for you to download our workflow so you can more easily follow this course. This is going to be the same workflow that you're going to use later on when you are selecting your primary and secondary antibodies for your Western blot protocol. Now, full disclosure, it's still going to take you time to select your antibodies. Why is that? Because there's a lot of different targets and people use a lot of different experimental conditions during their Western blot protocol. So you will still have to look through the published papers and antibody databases and a lot of other resources that you will also find at the end of this course. So you're still going to have to invest that time, but trust me, down the line, it's totally worth it.